Hi everybody. I'm sorry, I'm adjusting the heat, so I want to give everybody a chance to see if anybody joins in case they have any questions before I get started. If there is anyone on here, can you please let me know that you can hear me okay? And I'm going to get started in just a moment. Let me turn this other heater. Okay, so I'm gonna hope you guys can hear me. I don't have anyone on here just yet, but hopefully you guys can hear it when it plays back. It will be posted onto the Facebook and okay, so I wanted to kind of address the new virus that's been going on around the CSRA, that it has hit the news and we've gotten a lot of customers ask us about it. The virus is not new to us, as it did hit us in August, and we informed everyone at that time. As we went along, we found that it was a new virus they didn't make a vaccine for. So it was the kennel cough vaccine. I don't know if you guys know, but they're made kind of like the flu. So it's whatever strain is out there, that's what they make a vaccine for. So they're still unsure what kind of virus this is, but it does present itself like kennel cough. It just is lasting longer. From what I've seen from August until now, even my personal service dog did get the virus. I have seen dogs that it usually starts with a runny nose and reverse sneezing, from what I've seen, and then the coughing. Dogs, it did seem to be, it's definitely lasting longer than what the regular kennel cough would last. As far as the symptoms, the coughing's lasting longer, the runny nose is lasting longer, the runny eyes is lasting longer. I have had 2 of our rescues that just did not do well with the sickness. All of our rescues were quarantined outside once anybody started showing symptoms. Most of them responded well with the vitamins that we give them when something like this happens. They responded well, and you know, it lasted like the regular kennel cough. But there was a few dogs that it just really hung on to, and we ended up having to bring in a different quarantined area to try to help them get past it. And those dogs, you know, are all fine now. But we've seen the same things with customers. When we first heard about it in August, one of our customers had taken, it was right after Labor Day weekend, I believe, had taken their dog to the vet because it was coughing. And that's when the vet they did actually test, and that's when we were notified that it was not anything that they had a vaccine for, or they didn't really know anything about it. And so it wasn't anything that we could really prevent or anything like that, other than doing our normal protocol. But it did inform us that something new was going on, and it definitely looked different, a little bit different to me. In my experience, I've been doing this since 2010. My experience with kennel cough, I never really saw the reverse sneezing. I didn't see the watery eyes as much, or the runny nose as much as it is, and it definitely did not last as long as some of these are lasting. But what I've seen is that some of the customers that have frequented other facilities, or they go to different dog parks or take their pets to the pet store, that when they would come in contact with it and they would get sick, or if they were there during that time that we had it, we notified them. Then what I've seen is, and these dogs all have gone to different veterinarians in the area. The veterinarians tried their normal protocol for kennel cough, and it was not, the dogs were not responding. So I've seen them be put on like 3 different antibiotics, and I've spoken to the vets because the dogs, it was way past time that the dogs should not be coughing anymore, and they should have responded. They'd been put on 3 different antibiotics, and then the customers went aboard, but I know that cough was hanging on. And so I would need to speak to the vet, and their recommendation with the dogs being put on the antibiotics, that they didn't feel like the dog would be contagious after being, on 3 rounds of antibiotics. So I've seen different things in the news. I can only go by what I personally experienced, my knowledge in the past of things, and what I read. I know you definitely can't always trust the media. The media will kind of sometimes blow things out of proportion. Not to say that this is not an important thing, it definitely is. But that's why I wanted to address it from our standpoint and just kind of address it as a whole. So we require 3 vaccines. This is one reason why we are so strict on our policy on what we require, and that it has to be 7 to 10 days prior to them boarding with us. And that is kennel cough, rabies, and DHLPP, which is distemper parvo vaccine. The kennel cough, most vets give those every year. My recommendation is, just from my experience, that they get the vaccine once a year, and that you also get an update booster of the nasal once every 6 months. That's just my experience and my recommendation. It's not a requirement of us, but we do require that it be at least 10 days if they have expired or they've lapsed. And again, the kennel cough, this is what is going on right now. There is no vaccine for, because this is a new strand. So it's just like the flu. Like if you get a flu vaccine, you might get the flu still, but you're probably not going to get it as bad. So that's basically how this is, because they don't know what strains, or they can only make it on the strains that are currently out there that they know about. So the recommendation from the vets, this is from the vets, is that they have their flu, parainfluenza, and kennel cough vaccines on board. Again, we are not requiring all those, but we are recommending those, especially, right now. Let's see. The second thing I want to address is boarding. Like, should you board or should you not board? Obviously, we're in the business of boarding and daycare, so that is where we get our income, and the holidays is a busy time for us. However, dogs' health is the most important thing to us, especially, our clients. We want everything to be what they feel comfortable with, as well as their pets. So, keeping that in mind, if you have to board, and I am not saying not to board, because like I said, we've been having, this hit us in August. It's just now getting the news. So this is not anything new for us that we've been handling. We know that it's out there. We've dealt with it. We don't currently have any dogs here now, but we do have, it is possible that dogs can bring it back in here. And in my experience, again, dogs that have had that same strand don't get sick again. But there's not enough information about this one to know that. But just in the past, dealing with kennel cough, they usually will not get the same strand if they do get it, if that makes sense. So I would definitely say, especially during the holidays, we do require a deposit and 4-night stay to be able to board with us during our peak time. We are going to waive that deposit if your pet is sick, or you feel uncomfortable about boarding them and you'd rather have them at home with a pet sitter. Then we completely understand, and we are waiving that deposit during this time. So what that means is, if you need to cancel your reservation or anything, and it's less than the 24 hours that we usually require, or the 48 hour, no, 72 hours, I'm sorry, during holiday, whatever it is. If you're, if it's due to this, your pet is sick, or you've decided not to board due to this, then we will refund your credit. Now those credits are always refunded in-house, so they will be as a credit to your account. But if you're coming from out of town and you don't live around here, then we would refund that back to you. You would just need to speak to the manager about that. So dogs that are most going to be affected by this are going to be your really young dogs. Sorry, I'm getting a notification. Your really young dogs, your really old dogs, your snub-nosed dogs, which are dogs like pugs or bulldogs that have the flatter face. Let's see, any dogs that have heart conditions or lung disease or anything like that, they're going to be at higher risk of getting sick anytime. When you put dogs in a boarding situation, it tends to make dogs' immune system go down. Anytime you get more stressed, their immune system goes down. So what we are recommending, if you do decide to board with us, is to go ahead and start putting your dog on an immune booster to help with that. We are also, let's see, sorry, I'm going down my list. Okay, I went over that. The main thing is just making sure that if you think your dog is sick or showing any signs of being sick, please do not bring your dog to boarding or daycare, just out of respect for other people's animals. Let's see. Try to avoid, if you are going to plan on boarding, please try to avoid dog parks, play groups, dog stores, like taking your pet into the store with you. Definitely giving them immune boosters prior to your pet boarding. We are also asking that you bring limited belongings with them, because what is going to be happening, it's going to be a little bit similar to COVID, in that we are going to be making sure that everything is washed, that we have washed it. Do not bring bowls. We have a specific protocol that we use to disinfect bowls daily, twice a day. So if you bring your bowls from home, then we don't know that they're disinfected or that they've, sat and disinfected for as long as the time requires, all those things. So please don't bring their bowls. We have slow feeders. We have elevated feeders. We have all of those things. We have plenty of bowls. We are a pet facility, so we have those things. We also have beds. Beds meaning we have Kuranda beds, which are off the ground, which is also to help prevent dogs from getting sick. If a dog does urinate during the night, then they are not laying in it. Now, this is provided that you have a dog that does not chew our beds. There are some dogs that will try to eat the plastic, so those don't get beds. We also have plenty of blankets. We have thick blankets. We even have bedding for senior dogs, or dogs that have, sorry, I keep getting notifications, dogs that have hip issues, stuff like that. So we have all those things covered. We have tons and tons of blankets. We have tons and tons of toys, tons and tons of Kongs. We have all the things that you could possibly think of that your pet would need. So you really only need to bring your pet, their medications, and their food in a sealed container or sealed bags. So we are asking that, especially during the holidays. We get a lot of dogs. If it's absolutely necessary that you feel like your dog has to have this particular item, we are going to wash it before we give it to your pet. And we always wash items the night before they leave, so that it's ready and fresh and clean for you when you pick up. But we are trying to limit those things. Let's see. Like I said, stress can cause the immune system to go down in dogs. I'm so sorry. When they are boarding. So if your dog is already anxious, if they're new to boarding, or if they're boarding during a holiday. Now, holidays for us can mean anywhere between 75 to 85 dogs. So that can be a lot different if your dog comes to us for boarding or daycare, but they've never been here during a holiday. It is a lot busier. So that can be stressful to a dog as well. So what we are recommending for you guys is to book a walk, an agility, or a hunt to get your pet, you know, during their stay, as we have the extra activities that you can add to their stay. We're recommending that you do those type things so that your pet can get out of the facility for a little bit, decompress, and bring those stress levels down, to help them from being so stressed during that time. Let's see. Also, our placement, one of the reasons why we charge a setup fee is because we don't just say, okay, there's an empty kennel, let's put this dog here who comes in tomorrow. We actually, we have files on each of our pets that tells us exactly their behavior. If they need an elevated feeder, do they chew up beds, do they eat blankets, do they, are they reactive with dogs that are larger than them, or are they non-reactive and social, are they reactive only on leash? Like, we have all that information on your pet, and so your placement their placement, I'm sorry, not your placement because you're not here. Their placement can change per stay. And so every time we have your dog coming in, we also have to look at all the other dogs that are here during that time and where they will be placed to make sure that we place your dog and that dog in the best spot to be able to keep those stress levels down as much as possible. So that is what the setup fee is for. There's a lot of planning and Tetris things that go on there. To make sure that that's possible and that your pet is as comfortable as they can be while they're with us. So just want to touch on that real quick. Also, so that's what you can do in response to this, right? Did I put that on there? Okay. That's what you can do in response to this. So now let me tell you what we're doing in response to everything. We've added and changed some protocol. We'll be having an employee meeting tonight to go over those changes. Some of them have started being implemented today. Some of them are things that we already do, but we're just reminding our staff and making sure that everybody is being conscious about these things, and also notifying them of the changes that we are doing. So we have some of this is going to be done temporarily just while this is going on before we go back to our regular protocol, which our protocol for cleaning is amazing. We use the best products. We use Rescue disinfectant. If you want to look that up, it's called Rescue. It was actually one of the ones that was used during COVID. It is pretty expensive, but we have been using it for quite a few years now, and we're very happy with it. They have changed their contact time and the dilution rate, so that is another thing that we are going over today. Let's see. So we already sanitize kennels that pets are in every single day for 3 minutes using the Rescue. Okay, so we break down those kennels, we rinse them, then we foam them from top to bottom. Pay attention especially to the high traffic areas, which include like your locks, your handles, the front panels where the dogs usually are at due to activity in the kennel. Let's see. So those usually sit for 3 minutes. They have to have a contact time of 3 minutes before they are rinsed. We are now sanitizing and leaving those for 5 minutes because their protocol has changed as well. So it's now 5 minutes And for each dog, and that's for dogs that are coming back to their same kennel. So if a dog leaves, then what we do is we always rinse it, we clean it with Dawn, scrub it really good, and then we rinse that, and then we foam it. And so they're going to be foamed and sit for 5 minutes, and then they're going to be re-foamed again prior to another pet coming in that kennel. So we are adding that extra step to where there's an extra sanitation going on for dogs that are going to be changing or leaving and another pet coming in. Let's see. We are also temporarily removing all pools from our yards so that there's not a resource for all dogs, because pools, obviously we don't change those out in between every dog, and we also use those for play groups. So those will be being removed. That is the only common source that dogs have that they could share at any time. So we are removing those temporarily until this is done. We are removing all toys. So especially if you get pictures of your pets, there might be you might only see like one toy in the background. That is because we are removing all toys. We are all stuffed toys are washed daily, and all of our plastic or harder type toys are being sanitized and foamed daily. But each pet will, during their playtime, will receive a toy. They will play with that toy, and then when they come back in from their playtime, that particular toy goes in the wash or gets sanitized for the next day. So each pet has a different toy. So that's how that will work, instead of just having lots of toys out there and they play. Okay. We are also, oh man, I thought I brought it with me and I didn't. Okay, so I'll just tell you about it. We are also, most of you know that we have report cards that are on our kennels that we mark 3 to 4 times a day that track your pet's intake and elimination and any issues that we might see. We do that every day with every single pet throughout the day. But what we're doing is we're adding a particular section to the report card that it says we have to check every day. Do they have a cough? Do they have a runny nose? On top of that, we will have an intake form that the employees will have to evaluate your pet at intake. They'll be evaluated on if there's a cough present. Is that cough? We do have dogs that have heart conditions, that have chronic coughs, or have damaged tracheas, stuff like that. So we will mark if they have a cough, or there's no cough, or or whatever. So there's cough on there. Do they have a runny nose? Do they have watery eyes? All those things are going to be done at intake as well as departure. If daily on their report card it shows that they did cough, then there's also a place for them to fill out are they coughing only when they're pulling on the leash? Are they coughing when they're excited? Are they coughing when they're eating? Because all those things are different signs to us that let us know certain things about, especially particular dogs that we are very familiar with, on if that is their norm and what looks like kennel cough and what doesn't. Does the dog have a runny nose? Does it have a snotty nose? Is it hacking? Does it have something that it's producing when it's hacking? All those things will be noted. But we will also notify you at the slightest thing that if we are concerned that a dog may be sick, we will contact you and go from there. Let's see. In addition to those, this is the only thing that's really kind of COVID-ish that we used to do when COVID was around, is all door knobs, all handles, to like common areas like trash cans that we do, the refrigerator, the washing machine, the dryers, their cubbies that we get medications out of, the front door, the lobby door, the little gates. All those will be disinfected twice a day, right before we leave for lunch, and then again in the evening right before we leave, so that that's ready for in the morning and that contact time is sitting. So that is the only thing that's kind of COVID-ish for us. Staff is continuing to have clean uniforms daily, so these are things we already have in place, but we're going to be having a reminder meeting just to kind of make sure that they're aware, you know, that they need to be doing these things. So clean uniforms daily, washing their hands frequently, especially before feeding, and having, this is one thing that is different, is we're having limited full-on closeness with dogs temporarily. So what that means is I would recommend maybe a walk as opposed to a cuddle session. The reason being is because we can't change clothes every single time we cuddle with a different dog, but we're also not kissing them and things like that we normally do with some of the dogs that we know their behavior. So we are having limited close contact with them as far as that goes, so that when we're handling the next dog, we aren't you know, possibly spreading anything. This is the same protocol we have all the time, is all dogs have their own leashes when they come in. We do, most of you know, we leash them up with our leash. You take your leash and collar. We use that leash for that dog the whole time they're here, and it stays on their kennel. Once they leave, then we put those in a bucket, and those get disinfected and dried and ready for the next time of use. So all of our yards will be are disinfected daily. No play group. So I have decided there was no play group on the 20th and the 27th, and the 3rd was up for possible, depending on how busy it was with the holiday. But we were still having play group on the 13th. However, due to everybody's concern, again, like I said, this has hit us in August, and so this is not anything new for us. It's just new that it's being put on the news and that people are finding out about it. So if you look back at our Facebook post, we posted about this back around August, September time, and informed everyone about this. So it's the same thing that's going on. I'm assuming it's just spreading more, or it spread to an area that now they're making it public. So where was I going with that? Oh yeah, no play group on the 13th. So there won't be any play group. However, if you do normally come for play group, then please come anyways. We are just doing walks or agility or hunts in lieu of play group. We will also be walking your, like if your dog's here for socialization mostly, then your dog will be walked with another dog with social distancing. But being outdoors also helps, you know, the chance of any spread or anything like that. So they will still be active, they'll still be socialized. They will just be walked or doing agility or doing a treasure hunt. And there's no extra charge for that particular day because that is in lieu of play group, okay? So that's how we're handling that. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments either now or after I post this, and hopefully I can answer those for you. Let me just look at my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. I think I touched on everything. Like I said, if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section, and I will be happy to try to get back to you and respond to those as fast as possible. Again, very few things have changed. We have added or taken away a few things, but those are our recommendations. And my dog's here every day, so you know, I don't think it's anything to go crazy about. But again, if your dog is sick or showing signs, we definitely don't want them to come, and dogs should not come at least 2 to 3 weeks after their last symptom. So and try to not frequent those areas, you know, the dog parks, other boarding facilities if you use multiple ones. Sorry. Pet stores, stuff like that with your dog, until, especially if you're planning on boarding for the holidays and you've already got plans to see family and stuff like that. Put those immune boosters in before boarding, and yeah, just leave me any questions or comments and I'll be happy to get back to you. I see there's 2 people on here now. I don't know, do either of you have any questions about the virus or about boarding or anything like that? If not, like I said, I'm going to post this. So if you don't have any questions right now and you think of some later, just put them in the comment section and I'll get back to you on those as fast as I can. Again, the chemicals that we use is Rescue. It's called Rescue, and it's been great for years for us. We used it through COVID and it's been amazing. So obviously they do believe that it is that it can be, I don't even know what the word is, but is more airborne, I guess, not really bacteria, but that it can lead to bacteria and cause pneumonia. So we can't prevent it 100%, but we are doing the same things that we always do with a little bit of added protocol and some things taken out. Oh, perfect. Hi, Michelle. So yeah, Michelle, do you have any, do you guys have a system set up? Do you need me, or would you like some ideas or whatever on what we do here to help? If so, I can send that privately to you. But I hope you guys are keeping everybody safe over there and you guys are staying safe and everything works out for you guys for the holidays as well. But yeah, awesome. I'm glad it's been helpful. That's the whole thing we want to do, is just kind of not overreact, but give everybody informed information, be able to make informed decisions, I should say. So yeah, I appreciate you guys, and again, if you think of something later, just leave it in the comments and I'll get back.